I just have one more note. One more thing to add at the end of this, and it's just a bit of a personal note on sending me private emails and messages about any of the things that we've discussed over the last couple of days. I prefer to keep things like this in the public domain so that there is a record of things that I have said, so that nothing that I have said or done can be misconstrued in any way. So if you're sending me private emails or private messages that have anything to do with this, in trying to correct anything that I'm saying or have me, change my mind about anything, I would really prefer that you do it in a public forum. And leave me a comment below where others can also see my response as well. And that would be great. So just moving ahead, any email, anything private that is sent to me that has nothing to do with crafting or my business, my bag making business, if you're sending me personal private messages on the social events that I've been discussing in the last couple of days, I'm really sorry to say, but I won't be answering them. So I hope you can understand that. If you would like to, if you would like to repost what you have written to me in the comments below this video, I welcome you to do so, and I would gladly answer you in a public forum. And that's the best I can do. So I hope you understand. Happy Tuesday, Flosstube. Hello, crafty friends. How's everybody doing today? Oh, well. Thank you for yesterday. Big thank you for yesterday. I have one very small thing that I'd like to add to my video from yesterday. My name's Caroline. Hello, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're still here. And yep, we lost a few yesterday, but I think I gained a few. So if you're here, if you're brand new, welcome. I'm really glad you're here. I have one small thing that I wanted to add to what I said yesterday. I had so many amazing comments left, supportive and really wonderful comments, and thank you to every single one. I did go in, and as of 8 o'clock this morning, I tried to go through every single comment and at least hit the heart button on everyone and address those that needed a bit of a response. So I did have some thumbs down, which I fully expected, but I had a couple of people, and here's the thing about thumbs down. I think if you're going to give a thumbs down, you should have to explain why. You should have to say in the comments why you're giving a thumbs down. And then at least give who you're giving a thumbs down a chance to reflect on perhaps why you're giving them a thumbs down, but also maybe a small chance to explain a little bit better. Because I don't know about other people who record these videos, but sometimes, a lot of the time, I don't make notes generally, I just speak. And sometimes if we're given a chance to reword things a little more carefully, we can do a better job. So I had a couple of people who most likely left a thumbs down leave a comment, and there was one in particular that I just wanted to revisit today. And I'm not saying this so that people will go back into the comments yesterday and stir up unpleasantness or anything like that. It's more that I wanted to draw attention to the statement or the sentence that this commenter wrote. So the comment, and I'm going to just read directly because then I can read my response, because I had a chance to say what I meant. So I'm just going to read it. So the comment to me was, "My feeling about what you have just said is that you repeatedly said you don't talk about politics, and then proceeded to do so." Okay, so that's someone's opinion, which they are perfectly welcome to have. Here's my response. This is what I wrote back to the commenter. "I appreciate that you left me a comment. I don't agree that human rights are political. Politics are the," and then I actually, so this is quoting because I looked up the definition. activities associated with the governance of a country or other area, especially the debate or conflict among individuals or parties having or hoping to achieve power. Okay, so that's the definition of politics. I neither discussed the President of the United States, the Prime Minister of my country, Canada, or any other member of government, small or large. I discussed that there are members within our own stitching community who are not being treated the same as others, and perhaps after hundreds of years, we could look into ourselves to do the hard work of understanding why things haven't really changed. So my big takeaway from this is, and what I'm really hoping that we can start to do is, instead of saying, I'm so sick of hearing about politics, we have to call it what it is. It's not politics, it's human rights. And at the moment, we're talking about racism and that the role of you know, our role in it, and how we're trying to fix it, and how to make a creatively positive, moving forward, helpful response to that issue, and why it's really important to make that distinction. This has nothing to do with politics. It's really not. So if me saying this has helped even one person see the difference in a more positive light, that we're not fighting about politics. I'm not fighting with anyone. I'm not trying to fight with anyone. I'm simply trying to state where I am, and why I think it's an important thing to talk about, why I think diversity and inclusion are, they're important, they matter, and that's all. So that's it. I did it under 6 minutes, and now I'm going to move on to crafting. And thank you again, really, truly thank you to everyone. Okay, so diversity, inclusion, my Martin Luther King sampler that I am stitching for the various cells this is Stonestreet Stitchworks, and I had to get to the top to make sure that I was going to have enough room on this small little scrap of linen that I'm stitching it on. So I have reached the top, and I've got plenty of room, because I am going to be finishing this. Actually, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to finish it into. I'm going to make this into a drawstring bag. So this is going to be the front panel of a drawstring sock tote bag for me, that I can always have a pair of socks in. And that's why I decided to try and use up this beautiful, this is a silk weaver fabric. It's a Zweigart linen done by Silk Weaver. It's a 40 count Newcastle linen, and the colorway is Country Mocha. And this was a sample that I received in a grab bag of goodies at the New Jersey Flosstube retreat last year. It's just beautiful, really, really nice. The quality of the linen is superb, and I'm really happy with it. So I'm just using my own colors. This is an old skein of Crescent Colors bandana that I'm using for the border and the bird, and there's a few other bits and bobs in there. And then the dark lettering is Acorn, which is a Gentle Arts. Gentle Arts, yeah. So that's Acorn. And then I'm going to use 2 greens in the stems and the leaves. So, oops, throwing them on the floor. Be careful, my coffee's right in front of me. I don't want to tip that over. So this is Deep Forest, another Gentle Arts, and then a Dinky Dyes Dandenong, which is a beautiful silk that was gifted to me by my friend, the creative curator, Carrie, out in Australia. So those are going to be the 2 greens in that. So I'm really enjoying that stitch. It's a beautiful chart. I'm going to keep the link in the drop down box below for that chart. It is a charity chart. So the pattern costs 50 cents and US. So it's about what, 76 cents Canadian, I think. And the idea behind it is that you are encouraged to make a donation to a charity of your choice for the pleasure of stitching this piece. And I have decided to add $5 to my total that I will be donating to the Native Women's Association of Canada. So I was supposed to have some more sock totes made this week with the last of the Canadian fabric that I have left. That's not going to happen this week. So I might just go ahead later this week and make that donation anyways, even though I don't have those bags sold yet. I'll just make another donation later after I've made those other bags. Okay, so that was the first one. Second project that I was working a little bit on, that I'm not nearly as far as I was hoping to be by this point, since we are closing in on the end of June. It is June 23rd. I was really hoping to have this project done by the end of June. I don't think that's gonna happen. So this is my Ink Circles Thread and Eye mandala. And here's where I'm at. So yeah, sorry, before I was holding it. I am now stitching it in this orientation and working my way down. But before, when I was showing it to you, before, I was holding it this way. So let's do that again. So I've fully completed this motif over here. I've started working my way up in here. A few bits of color put into the ends here. I think in here, there, and there's some yellow in there as well that I, right there, did that. So yeah, I think I'm going to take a few days off of recording this coming weekend, Thursday through Sunday. John is taking the kids to the cottage. And while I am super bummed that I'm not there yet, I'm going to stay here with the dog because many of you, most of you know, I am awaiting gallbladder surgery. And I'm just waiting for the hospital to call and say, hey, it's your turn, come on in, come on down. And so I don't want to be in a very remote location where it just makes me a bit nervous because anything, you know what I mean, So I'm not at the cottage. John's taking the kids to the cottage. I'm gonna stay in my pajamas this weekend and stitch. So from Thursday to Sunday, I'm going to completely unplug. I will be on the Facebook group on Friday night because, well, I wouldn't miss it. If I can be there, I'm there. So Friday night I'll be on the Facebook group, but other than that, I'm going to actually take a little break from social media and recording videos. But I will be back. So I'm gonna record tomorrow and then I'll be back next Monday. And my hope is that with a few dedicated days, not having to feed anybody or answer questions or help with French homework or do any of that, I might be able to make a real dent in this piece. That's what I would like to do. Now, who knows what's going to actually happen? I may choose a completely different piece or two, and that's okay too. That's all right too. All right, last thing to share, and I think you're all going to be shocked. I know I didn't finish something, but do you remember my Christmas sock? Remember I was working on my Fruity Pebbles sock and I sort of, lost my mind and didn't work on anything else? Well, I decided to finish the heel on my Christmas sock, and I did, and I turned the heel, and now I'm working on my gusset decreases. Look at that. So I am moving on. Look at that. So I did the tricky bits. I finished the flap, turned the heel, and now I'm doing those gusset. And I always have a lot of gusset decreases because I make my flap so long because I have a very high arch in my foot, and if I make the heel flap longer and have more decreases, it allows me more fabric over the saddle of my foot. So that's exciting. I cannot wait to wear these socks. December 1st, that's when I'm going to put these socks on. They're going to be done before December 1st. Possibly. And I can't wait to wear them. They're so pretty. So this is a sock yarn by The Cozy Knitter, and it is a self-striping sock yarn, and it's an 80-20 with a little bit of sparkle in there. So that's Gold Stellina. That's just providing, you can see if I move it, you can just see it's got a little bit of shine and sparkle, and it's so pretty. So look at that, ta-da! I know, it was really fun. And in fact, my thumb is okay. Sometimes I overdo it when I get too excited about my sock knitting, and it really is the one thing that can aggravate my thumb faster than anything else. But so far so good. I can feel it, but it's not complaining. It's whining a little bit, but it's not complaining too loudly. I can ignore it for now. All right, and that is in my Knit's Best Thing Christmas bag from my friend Dawn. Actually, it was my friend Adrienne who gifted me the bag, but my friend Dawn made it. So, all right, I think that's it for today. I have a stack of Stitch North, the cross stitch retreat. I know, and many of you are probably thinking, she promised us she'd tell us the date. I have the date, but I have not signed the new contract yet. So I'm not gonna tell the date until that contract is signed and delivered back to the conference manager at the hotel, just because I haven't seen it yet. And so I need to make sure. Apparently my costs for the hall rental and the room rates, the rooms that you booked for your stay in the hotel, those rates, they are honoring the same rate that we were offered originally in September. But the food price has gone up for the pizza party that I'm hosting on the Friday night. This retreat does not include food. So you're going to be responsible for your own meals, except for I'm throwing a huge pizza party on the Friday night, which I completely stole that idea from Arlene Cohen who runs the Flosstube New Jersey retreat and is also Works by ABC. I highlighted her designs last Friday. She did that. She had a pizza party on the Friday night of the New Jersey retreat, and it was so fun. So I thought we have to try and do that if we can. But the food costs everywhere. Food costs have really gone up. And so I need to make sure that that's the only cost that's gone up before I sign the contract and send it back. So fingers crossed he's sending me that today, because we've been discussing it since last Thursday. He did call me on the phone yesterday and we discussed a few other small details. I should have the final date to you hopefully by tomorrow. And if not, it'll be on Monday when I come back. So stay tuned. There are still a few spots left, and the registration can be found on my shop page, which is www.evertote.com. And that retreat is happening in the spring of 2020 here in Ontario, Canada, and to be more specific, in Brampton, Ontario, which is very close to Toronto, the city of Toronto. Okay, so I'm off to make Nicholas some lunch. He's almost done school. We just have 2 days left. We're so close. We're so close. And then it's officially summer vacation. It looks like I'm still going to be here for a while. So I haven't heard anything yet. So I'm still here. But I am looking forward to a quiet weekend. Okay, I think I've tried to say goodbye. See? if you're new here, welcome. This is a very Caroline trait where I decide I have just one more thing to say, and then I say goodbye, and then I have just one more thing to say. But I'm really done now. Thank you again for yesterday, and happy stitching, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow.